We're more than halfway into the year, and it's a great time to look at your finances before the holiday rush starts. Plus, looking now gives you time to actually reset. So today, both Derrick, Kinney, and Baiyeroju are here for our Money Monday Table Talk. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, Aaron. Great to see you.
So glad to have you guys here. You guys, they have great tips indeed. These are the best experts I know when it comes to money. So let's get into it because we're past the halfway mark at this point. We're officially in August.
Time's flying.
Time is flying, okay? I feel like the rest of my year is planned. And so why is now a really good time for a financial reset, even more so than maybe even in January when we try and make that New Year's resolution?
I think right now you've already had a good chance to see how your year is going. You know, you set all these aggressive New Year goals, and now you know whether they're going to get hit or not.
Yes.
So this is a time to get real with yourself and understand where you are so you can make the best plan for the rest of the year.
Yes, indeed. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah. Well, also, Christmas catches everybody by surprise.
It does.
And now we have 6 months to go. And I want to make sure that when we get to Christmas, you feel like this has been our best year financially, but there's no debt.
Exactly.
That's the bottom line. No regret and no debt.
Because you end up in the same space then once Christmas rolls around and then you're back in January and then you're making those New Year's resolutions all over again. It's hard. It's a vicious cycle. And so many families, they feel like, especially during the summertime, is when they fall off of their actual budget. You know, they've got sports and vacations and all the things. And so what's the easiest way to make sure that we're not losing ourselves, but we also don't feel deprived when it comes to actually spending the money that we work hard for?
Well, people right now feel like they're under the gun. They're working hard, often at jobs they don't like, with money they feel like they should be earning more, and they wonder, is there a better life for myself? So I just think people need to realize it's going to be expensive, but what is one goal?
Yeah.
If you had to focus on one goal for the next 6 months, and so you're not then depriving yourself, you're rewarding yourself for making smart choices and taking maybe not the optional stuff, but the required expenses.
Yes.
And making smart choices is really the key.
We're going to talk about rewards here in a second, too. We're going to get to that in a minute. But I want to make sure that we have tips from both of you guys because you both are so great. Top 3 tips as far as money moves that everyone should know before the holiday shopping season begins. Because usually around this time, we kind of get started. We're starting to put away a little bit of money. We're starting to maybe pick which toys the kids want. And what do you think? Top 3.
Ooh.
And you can do 3 between the 2 of you.
Top 3. Okay, I'd say 1. You have to have a nice little bucket. A bucket of money that is specifically for Christmas. You got to give it a label and give every dollar a job. So whether that's $20 a week that you're putting away, 25, whatever that number works for you and your family, have that bucket. It's great if you could put that in a high yield savings account so it's starting to build and grow a little. By the time Christmas comes around, you're ready to shop.
Okay, let me ask you that. Let me expand upon that. High yield savings account. To someone who's never used one before, you're like, huh? What exactly should we be asking for when we go into the bank? Is it just that? And what exactly does that do for us?
Yeah, so you can put your money into like a regular savings account and might make, 0.1% on that money, or you can put it into like a high yield savings account is what it's called, or certificates of deposits. These are a way for your money to build on itself. So you're making anywhere from a 3 to 4% return on top of the money instead of 0.1, right? You're gonna put it in a bank account anyway, so you might as well have it working for you.
I just learned something myself, y'all, this morning. I hope you're taking notes at home because I got savings accounts galore, but I do not have one high yield savings
There you
account.
go. So that's one thing that you can do today. It's easy to start.
Making
1%. Yeah.
Okay, 2 more tips from either one of you guys.
Well, make a list of who you're going to buy gifts for.
Yes.
So many people buy gifts for people they don't like with money they don't have to impress people that don't matter to them.
Exactly.
There you go.
So what you want to do is think about, am I going to give the person a gift of time or the gift of an experience or an actual gift? People forget the sweater. They remember the walk with grandma, the kayak ride with dad, the Jeep ride with your favorite playlist with mom. That's what they talk about for years. So, and it's also cool to say, this year I have a limited budget. Ooh. When you say the words limited budget, not I can't afford it, limited budget is powerful. And people also say, I wish I had the thought process to talk like that.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
the key.
I'm stealing that
People
as
respect
well.
that.
Because it's so much nicer than saying, no, you're not on the list. Sorry.
That's right. You're out of here.
You're out of here. Sorry. You remember what you did 2 months ago? You're off the list, babe. Okay, let's talk about it. One more tip from either one.
Okay, one more tip. I think also what you said about starting early. Right now there's a lot of sales going on, so if you see something that catches your eye that you think would be a great Christmas gift to save for later, get it now while it's on sale.
That is so true, because if you listen throughout the year, you can just purchase things as you go, and then it doesn't feel like you're wasting 3 checks trying to just buy everything all at once. That's a really good tip. I like that.
Sales, tax-free days. Take advantage of it now if you can.
Buy some tennis shoes now and then save them for Christmas, you know?
And don't think, maybe I'll save 25 sense of it going, no, just buy it.
Yeah.
Reduce your stress, reduce your anxiety. Just make the purchase now and check it off.
All you have to worry about then is hiding it. And then that's
There
the
you go.
easy part, I think. Okay, so anybody at home, 30 minutes this weekend, what can they do to maybe turn the corner when it comes to their financial standing?
Well, if you have an issue, you go to the doctor, and the
Yeah.
doctor does an x-ray. So I like to say, do a financial x-ray. Look and see where you stand today. What is your assets? What do you own? Your liabilities? What do you owe? Hopefully it's a positive number, but the goal is this is where I'm starting right now. The past has passed.
Yeah.
That's why the rearview mirror is so small and the windshield is so big.
Yeah,
We're going
I
to
like
focus
that.
on forward thinking and finances. is the
Very
key.
good. Okay, one financial habit that people can put in place.
One thing you can
to
do,
turn that corner.
open a high yield savings account. That's a great place to
yeah,
start.
yeah.
In addition, taking a note of where your money's going. Subscriptions are the fastest way to get you. You have Netflix, Peacock, Hulu, Spotify, everything. Maybe take one of those out.
Because you don't need all of them.
Yeah,
You
one of those
don't.
that you're not using. So
I
look
like
at
that.
first.
Very good. I was going to say one thing to stop, but I think that's the one. Stop the streaming, you guys.
all of it. Yeah.
All right, let's switch gears because you dabbled a little bit in telling us a little bit about how we can make ourselves happy with while also meeting our goals. And so we call them little treats while also staying on your budget. Others feel the same way. Take a look at this.
You described this thing called the little treat economy. What is that?
Well, it goes back to what you were saying about Labubus. If people feel like they can't afford a house or afford an economic life, they're going to return to risky investments, but they're also going to return to kind of buying little things for themselves because it's like, well, I'm not saving for a long-term plan, so I'm going to buy Labubus or I'm going to buy like a pistachio Dubai chocolate latte. And it's all of this is very rational. Like, I'm not saying that people are making the wrong decision. I think all of it makes a lot of sense, but that's the little treat economy, is that people will, get themselves nice little things.
Nice little things, big little things. Basically, the little treat trend is you take care of the things you got going on, and then you say, you know what? The money's gonna come back. I'm gonna treat myself. I'm gonna get that thing. And so I hear a lot of millennials right now saying like, listen, I thought I would have a house by now. I thought I would have like a down payment and all the things. And you know what? I don't. So I'm gonna buy the little thing that I want, which is maybe a piece of jewelry or a car instead. And so this little treat, have you guys heard of this? In a way.
I heard a little bit about it.
In a way.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, so what exactly, why do you think it's become so popular, this little treat situation of wanting to just make yourself a little happy with the money that you do have?
Yeah, like you said, things are getting more and more expensive. And I'm a Gen Zer, so you have the rising cost of college, student loan debt, rising cost of housing. And it seems almost impossible or harder to obtain these bigger financial goals. So you're like, look, I work hard for my money. Let me do something with it now. So I completely understand why it has become a trend.
Yes, okay, so small, intentional treats can actually be good for our mental health, I feel. Or at least I think so. Every time I buy myself a little treat, I'm like, okay, I feel way better than I did 20 minutes ago. You know what I mean? Retail therapy is a real thing. I'm just saying, I see you. And so, do you think it's good for the mental health?
We're all third graders in adult skin.
We sure are.
I mean, we all like to be motivated by the simple things. And so people often say, just discipline, be disciplined. Nobody's disciplined, but we like a reward. If I say, I get to watch my favorite show, but if I have to do the hard thing first, it's the double-double. I enjoy watching the show, and I did the hard thing. So people, when you tie rewards to things, it motivates you. The goal is just get you from one week to the next. If you say, I'm going to save $1,000, and I get to go to see Benson Boone in concert when I do, suddenly I'm saving $1,000.
Yes,
it might cost
are.
me a couple hundred, but I'm making more money. So reward yourself. It gets you through the hard times.
You know what this reminds me of? We were just talking off camera or whatever, and
yeah.
I have a little checklist that I need to do. And he was like, okay, what are you doing this week? And I was like, well, I'm going to a concert. You know what I mean? He's like, okay, so let's get that checklist done before the concert so we can feel good about it. It's the same exact feeling.
thing,
And so tell me, because I think there's a certain point when we do the little treats, right, where we're like, okay, the treats turn into like an everyday situation, you know? They're not treats anymore, they're just meals. And so, but very, very good ones. And so how do we know when the little treat has turned from good for you and good for your mental health to then harmful to your bank account?
Oh, yeah, because it's easy to go and cross the line.
It
So you got to
is.
set boundaries with yourself. And that's where every dollar having a job is going to help you. Having buckets, whether that be for Christmas money or for your little treats. Maybe it's $20, $50 a week that you're putting aside specifically for those treats. And then now now you know whenever you're going to purchase, maybe you have a certain card that's, okay, this is my treat card because I know I'm putting money in this for treats specifically.
That's
how you know.
smart. Okay, so do you guys recommend multiple different bank accounts? Like, this is what my bank account is for here. This is what my bank account is for here. Or do you have them all under one umbrella? I want to know more.
Well, the key is to track it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite hacks has been to name the bank account.
Okay.
If I want to go on a trip to the Caribbean, this is called the Caribbean account. That way, when I make deposits to the Caribbean account, I can picture myself walking on the sand. But also the key is you want to make sure you're making choices that 30-second future you would make you proud of.
Yes, that's
Doing one
actually
thing
good.
builds it's confidence steps. If I can do one thing today, I made one good choice today, now I feel more confident tomorrow, and now you're changing your financial future.
I like this. I like this.
confidence.
Okay, but I feel like you can still have little treats even if maybe you don't have the budget for them necessarily. And so, any thoughts on like affordable or free little treats that people can kind of get
so
into?
Many, so
Yeah?
many. We live in Dallas, which is one of the largest
so
metroplexes
right.
in the country. And look on Groupon, look on social media, see are there any free yoga classes, free Pilates classes, free samples that you can get. So many things that you can take advantage of living in a big city like this.
You know what? You're so right, because DFW usually has some. We're busting at the brim, I feel like, when it comes to activities that can give you that serotonin boost and still make you feel the same way about spending your money. And so if there's someone out there realizing that maybe they need a little treat to like cope with their stress, or they just have something going on, or they feel like, you know what, I deserve it, I need it. As far as healthier alternatives, I know you just mentioned activities out and about, but do you have any other ones?
Well, when you involve somebody else, there's built-in accountability. I would rather not tell a friend, hold me accountable, and I didn't do it. That's going to force me to do it. But here's what I would say. When you make your decisions, am I doing this to please somebody else's opinion of me, or is this the path I want for me? Ultimately, if it is to be, it is up to me. And you've got to make those choices that line up with that.
You always come in here with these these sayings,
loaded.
these little zingers. I love them so much. Okay, you guys, we talked a little bit about holiday shopping, how it's coming soon, maybe a little treat for yourself this week, especially if it's pay week for you, why not? Tell me, you guys are the experts, and you always come with great tips indeed, especially that high yield savings account. I'm going to be applying that today. Tell me where we can find you guys for so much more.
Well, go ahead.
You can find me at Nia Knows Finance on all social media platforms.
There we go.
Yeah, on Instagram, Derrick Kinney, we help you make, save, and give more money so you live the life you want.
It is just that easy. Thank you both for being here this morning and hanging out with us.